Guys, I visited Miosotis, or not visited, I'm sorry. I actually got to witness the huge success that Mio was in New York about 5 to 6 years ago. If you've ever seen Mio in person or in concert, please put a little like below, comment, let us know where you've seen her before. I really would like to see her international reach.
Miosotis. She calls me Mio because she's a really good friend of mine. Yeah. It's my nickname, Mio. Miosotis is what, the artist is.
Yes. So if you've ever seen a New York band in person or in live,
with my salsa band,
or even if you've watched our YouTube video, please put a like, put a little comment below, thumbs up. Just don't say thumbs up, and then we'll know how far your reach is. Right?
Love that.
Yeah.
Comment.
Disclaimer. This podcast showcases business partners and friends that engage in lively conversations about books over many drinks. Content may not be suitable for viewers under 21.
All
right, Danny, will you, or Kev, will one of you get a picture of us?
Yeah.
Come here, darling.
Danny, do the thingy, right?
Yeah.
Glasses up.
Glasses up.
Lenani.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam. Bam.
Grab a good book,
get some great booze,
and grab an amazing buddy to share it with. Cheers, y'all! Oh my goodness! Here we go.
I like to start already.
Oh, yes. So, friends.
This is great. Wait.
Okay, hold on.
She missed the tagline.
It's okay. We're going to keep going here. We've been pre-gaming.
Yeah. Kristen, what are we drinking? I say it anyway.
Kristen, what are we drinking? So we created this podcast to take you on a journey with us of literature and libations and buddies. So that we can just, come together, discuss, debate, let our hair down.
Enjoy.
Yes, relax. Have some good booze.
Read some good books.
Yeah. What are we drinking? So this is from the Keel and Curley. So this whole month, we've been featuring shorter books that you can do over your summer vacation. We've also been featuring Florida-based wines.
Oh, nice.
So this particular dogs, the kids must be home. Woof, 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 woof.
So you left on so.
Yeah. So this is from the Keel and Curley Winery, which I think when you had talked about before, right?
Yeah,
so
Keel and Curley, the first time I visited the winery was actually on a trip on I-4. We were heading towards Tampa. Mm-hmm. So when you're heading, if anyone who's visited Orlando and decided to visit the beautiful beaches that are on the West Coast.
Oh my gosh.
You're on I-4 and you're heading out west. There's this huge sign that says Keel and Curley, free wine tasting. Yep. And that's what got me. Free wine tasting. And it made me go right.
Detour.
But, the part that was actually really nice about it, it's a beautiful spot. And I really love the fact that when you think of wine, you think of grapes.
Sure.
Right? You're thinking of grapes, Merlot, sophistication, pinky up, all that other stuff. But when you're going there and you're on I-4 and you're heading out that way and you make that right towards the Keel and Curley winery, they actually are really focused more on the indigenous fruits. So we've got strawberries, blueberries.
And that's how they started. Yeah. They had a nursery started in 1981 for blueberry plants. And in 2003, he wanted to use his end of season crop. This is Joe Keel, founder, Keel, right? To use his end of season crop. And he made a blueberry wine.
Yeah.
And it just evolved from there. I think they have a peach wine, a strawberry wine.
Yeah.
They have a lot of various fruits. And I really like the fact that they emphasize on making wine that's not made from grapes. Now, the debate is is it a wine if it's not made from grapes? And the answer is yes. The wine, and my husband, who's not here, my lovely husband, he will tell you that it's more about the way it is brewed. Wine is brewed and fermented. And it does not have to come from a grape to be considered a wine. It is the process that it goes through. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank you,
so
my
all my
friend.
wine knows.
Okay.
So there.
Like I did with a few other wines, because you and I, my friend, we're not big on super sweet wines.
Yeah.
So this is a sangria. What I made for us is actually a cocktail. I'll explain it in a minute, but I thought we should, in truth, let's actually try the Keel and Curley Sangria, the way they prepared it. I've had it chilled all day. So here we go, friends. Cheers. To friendship.
Cheers to buddies.
Mm.
Don't you do?
Okay. Yep.
Not bad.
But sweet.
It's very sweet.
It is sweet. So knowing that we're not huge, you and I especially, are not huge fans of super sweet, I actually made my own sangria. So the triple sec and fruits have been sitting for a few hours. And then I layered in the sangria and I topped it off with a little bit of sparkling water.
That's what you do with this?
Yes. And for you, my friend, so I'm Kristen.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
I'm my mommy.
You guys,
No, it's okay. We're going with this. This is organic. We got this. This is the world-renowned, amazing, stupendous, incredible, super talented, amazing Miosotis. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Miosotis.
Tell us about you.
Ooh, okay. I will tell you about me. Miosotis is my name. Singing is my game.
And your shirt, your music,
right?
I love it.
Can you tell I like music and I'm into music? Can you tell? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a professional singer. I've been singing ever since I was very, very young. I started as a teenager with a very, very famous merengue singer called Wilfrido Vargas. Then I did an album with another group called Altamira Banda Show. And then I was with this other band called the New York Band for various years, and then I became my own artist. I'm a solo artist. I do salsa. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm a singer,
and you've won a Latin Grammy.
I also write. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, do all
yes,
like that. Yes.
And you are probably one of the hardest working women, other than Leilani and I, of course,
yes, of course.
that I know. And I know that you have something really important coming up over the next few weeks. So we've really cut hers with a lot more sparkle, meaning sparkle water, just to help, because you're so serious about what you do. You know, so that means sacrifices sometimes.
Definitely. When I'm going to do a video or television interviews or any particular show, I get on a regimen to obviously look a certain way. So yes.
You know, I dare debate the whole word sacrifice, right? Because I've been struggling with that personally myself, where you go in, you say sacrifice, sacrificial, all the other stuff, scarcity, right? What if the actual turn on that word, instead of sacrifice, is you made an investment?
I made an investment and a choice also.
Yeah, because you're deciding, you're choosing to invest in your
be healthy to look a certain way.
Yeah, because that is an investment in your business.
Absolutely.
Right. So this girl over here, she's being modest, because actually she just came out with a couple of videos, and on YouTube, one had 1 million views and the other one had 500,000 views in less than a week. Right? It's absolutely crazy. And here we are sitting at like 150 views in a week. You know, we're making our small celebrations, right?
Baby steps.
Yeah, but the thing is, she is really killing it in this game. So she's taking a trip out to DR right now. And she's got interviews lined up and she's got shows lined up. And she's just really amazing on what you've been able to accomplish. And so the idea is, and we're going to go into the book, you put your mindset to anything, you're going to accomplish it, right?
That is the plan.
It really is inspirational.
And if you don't give up, you're going to succeed on what you want to do, because you can't fail if you don't stop.
Yeah, and so you've accomplished this. So Mio has accomplished 500,000 views on one, 1 million views on another.
A Grammy, a Latin Grammy.
She's
world famous.
Oh yeah. And
Oh,
a
yeah.
Latin Grammy.
So we will be here.
This little thing called a Latin Grammy.
We're gonna end up filling up 20 minutes of talking about her accolades over here.
I know.
But why I'm bringing this up is because everything she's accomplished, she lives by the 4 agreements that are stated in this book.
Oh,
This is her essence, and I'm so excited for you to share about this.
Yeah.
Because you are the one that recommended this book to us.
Exactly.
And you told me you live by these 4 agreements.
I do.
And I am so excited to kind of hear why this book has kind of rocked your world. Because you are successful, but there's a way that you live your life that I think is one of the reasons that you're successful.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes, for me, it's a way of life. The way you are as a person is going to spill into everything else you do in your life, in your business, and your interpersonal communication with everyone, everything. So that's why I live by these rules. That rule, they call them agreement, but I guess you can see
They're like life rules. Absolutely.
Life rules
Yeah.
from myself. That's how I see them.
Yeah. So this book is written by Miguel Ruiz, right?
Miguel Ruiz.
If I'm saying that correct. Okay. And his lineage, he has studied so much of the ancient wisdom, specifically out of South America, specifically Mexico. Well, I guess in Central America, right? Yes. And what I am loving about studying history and these ancient wisdoms is it's echoed from continent to continent. You know, it's mindset. It's kind of living in harmony with things, and and all these.
Yeah, the underlying message is very, it's continuous amongst a lot of the different books that we've read, right? It's repetitive, and of course, their versions and the way they execute their words are a little bit different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's continuous amongst the books, and so his is not an exception. But I don't actually, he says it's an ancient language or an ancient agreement.
Yep.
I wonder if it comes from like Aztec, right? And so in that case, I think if it is Aztec, okay,
He says the Toltec, but I don't know. I'm not as versed in
I'm not
history
either.
as well. But
well,
there
let's
are
just say,
some
okay.
scientists.
So say it's Toltec, which is maybe ancient derivative of Aztecs. I dare say that he actually transcends that new wave thinking that we just spoke about, that just came around in 1910. So
It's cycling.
it is.
Yeah.
It is a cycling. It's cycling through history rhymes, right? It doesn't repeat. But I love the fact that every book that we read, it has that underlying message that just it keeps coming around. You know, you keep drilling it down, so then you start thinking it has to be truth to it, right?
Of course.
Because if it keeps coming around over and over and over and over again, no matter what the generation or whatever the millennia is, and it keeps coming around, there has to be truth to it.
Yep.
Right?
And I love that he talks right from the start, like we're almost pre-programmed as humans. Like we're raised a certain way to believe certain things. Like we're almost programmed with certain things. And he says if we kind of focus on these 4 agreements, and I'm so excited for you to start sharing them with us and what they mean to you, and we'll dig deeper. But like there's so much power in these, and how much, damage can be done or good can be done based on just understanding your mindset and your interaction with others and things like that. And I'm excited.
I am excited. Can we put a pause?
Just can't hide.
Can I get a soda water? Danny, can I have a soda water?
Garçon, s'il vous plaît.
Please.
So he calls something in this domestication of humans, right? Where we're really taught from youth kind of what to believe and how to behave, how to react to things and stuff like that. And he kind of says that our belief becomes almost a law. And that's kind of what he's trying to do. He's suggesting these agreements, or he's pulling from ancient wisdom, and he's calling some of these base truths and ways to behave as laws or agreements, right? And I think his main purpose is that if you really, he says everything that's in this book is true to us, and that these rules can be emotional, and we need courage to change our beliefs. So if something in our life and our trajectory and our path isn't where we want it to go. Let's assess some of these agreements and see if in assessing that we can kind of change the trajectory of our life.
But it's addressing those limiting beliefs, right? It's addressing the stories.
Which start way before we're even conscious of who we are,
Sure.
what we want to do in life. Because it starts from when
We're babies. Yeah.
What your parents tell you, what you hear about all around you.
Yes.
That's basically the basis of how we start getting shaped as a person. And what you believe about yourself is things that you've heard others telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you form that as a law in your head until something challenges it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you then have a decision to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you say that it comes from your parents, because our parents got it from their parents.
Everybody gets it from them. It's
Well, and I think
it
about
trickles down.
And then it becomes like in Spanish, we say un dicho, it's like it's just a saying. It's a saying that happens, and it becomes a story, and then it becomes a belief, right? And so, and then you're going around thinking, oh, okay, like money doesn't grow on trees, right? Or what comes around goes around.
Yep.
Or this is
I think about
sayings.
we were just doing a few financial books, and it's like, oh, you should work hard and save money, and right, that's the only way to build wealth.
Or what is it?
Or go to school and the whole.
Yeah.
Or it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah. Or you have to have X amount saved up before you start a business or start a family or what have you.
But then you start thinking, what if some of them hold truths? And that's the conditioning part, because then you start questioning it. Like, it's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Oh, well, that must be true. And then you start thinking it's true, because then you start seeing everyone around you. You're like,
and it could be dangerous for the person's a little person forming what you tell this person.
Yeah, it's huge.
Because it starts from the very beginning. You tell a child that they're smart and they're great, they're going to believe they're smart and great.
Yeah.
If you do the opposite, they're going to believe that too.
Well, I think he gives that example in here. It's in later chapters, but he gives the example of a mom who is suffering from a migraine and comes home from work maybe, and the child is just happy and singing.
Yes, she's singing.
And out of her pain and stress, she's like, stop singing, you have a horrible voice.
That's believed it.
To tell that to a child would damage the child for
imagine if
life.
you were told that at 9.
You want to know? I was actually told something like that when I remember in 5th grade. I was auditioning for graduation to sing at the graduation in 5th grade. I remember, and I was nervous for the audition.
Performance or
I was auditioning. And this kid, obviously my same age as well, he was one of those mean ones, and he goes, "You can't sing." Imagine. So this 10-year-old
what are you doing
girl,
right now, little kid?
Exactly. I don't even remember who his name is. I don't even know, but I remember what he said. Words are very powerful.
They are.
And that stayed. Luckily, I have a whole bunch of other people that told me I'm a great singer. So I'm like, I believe them instead.
Sure. But you made that choice.
I made that choice to agree with the majority. Not with the person that's trying to be mean to me.
So that takes us into the first agreement. And I know you live by these.
I do.
Take us, what is our first agreement?
Be impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love
that. For somebody who just loves this and embodies this, what does this mean to you?
Be impeccable with your words is basically you're truth to what you say. You mean what you say. You basically watch what you say, because it can be destroyed. Right? Basically, it's what you mean is what you're going to say. I'm very, very impeccable about words. It's basically the truth. Who you are is what you say. What you see is what you get. That's what it is to me.
And he digs into that. The word impeccable comes from the Latin peccatus, which is Latin for sin, and which means without. So basically, being impeccable is without sin.
Truth.
And he's not saying sin is like at a religious standpoint, but sin is something that you do against yourself.
Yes, correct. In fact, that's a good point. In fact, even saying things to yourself is damaging. If you tell yourself, "Oh my God, I'm so dumb. Oh my God, I never do anything right."
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Well, it's like what he said in the book. He says, if you were to go and talk to anyone else the way you talk to yourself,
yes,
you would sit there and cut yourself
cry.
off.
Yes.
Cry.
Yes.
Yeah. It's abuse,
Yes,
right?
it's abuse. You don't
do
abuse
it.
yourself. Say beautiful things to yourself. Tell you can do it. I can do this. I'm the best. I'm gonna do the best. That's who you are. That's what you're gonna do.
It's almost like in one of those little movies with animals and critters.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything nice to say,
Don't say anything
at all. So it kind of goes both ways, right? You got to say something nice to yourself.
Yeah.
You need to be really careful what you say to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in such a world of fear and scarcity that a lot of times we say things out of jealousy or fear.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I think about maybe what was that other fifth grader dealing with?
Yes, I was gonna say that. That's when somebody tells you something, it's not about you.
It's about them.
It's whatever they're going through. They might have a headache.
That's another one of the agreements.
Actually, it is one of the agreements. It's actually the next one.
Next one.
Number two. Take us.
Number two. Don't take anything personally. And that's where we're going with.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody can tell you, like that little girl heard from her mother, you have a horrible voice. That doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
It means that her mother is going through something.
Yeah.
So
She's a
basically,
mirror.
don't take anything personal, and everything somebody says, it has nothing to do with you per se.
Yeah.
It's whatever their perspective is, what they perceive, what they've gone through, what they're living. So never take anything personal.
Think of the old elementary school adage, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me, it sticks to you.
That's funny.
But it's like one of those things where you go and you say they're a perfect mirror. Like even in parenting, right? When you're raising, we were just talking about the lady, right? If you ever find something that's annoying, say in someone else, or annoying in your child or something like that, you typically it's annoying because it's a direct reflection
Of something.
Of you.
of you.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was the part that was like huge for me because, growing up, or not growing up, but raising, my sons, there are parts that are annoying. I'm like, well, why is it annoying? And then coming back saying, I must have some essence
They
of
take it
that.
from you as well, whatever they're giving you. I remember one of my child, I have a 17-year-old boy myself. He was like, I think 3 or 4. And I remember him looking at me like with like his eyebrows like this, like mad, like. And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, that's how I look at him when I'm upset." Oh my god! And I got that right at that moment, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I got to watch how
Good for you that you picked up on it because other people won't do it. Other people will look at it and just automatically say, "Don't do that to your eyebrows. Don't furrow your eyebrows."
I got it from. I noticed that he was basically acting how I reacted towards him when I was upset, and he dropped something, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Sure.
So I noticed that.
So as a business owner, right? Like you are a musician. You are your brand.
I have my own. Yes, absolutely.
How do these first two kind of guide you as the people you're responsible for yourself?
Well, I think it motivates. It gives like say when I work with my band, when I'm rehearsing, for instance. This happened to me at one time on a stage. The musical director actually told one of the guys that he made a mistake on stage.
Oh,
and the morale just goes down.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and said, "Don't you ever do that again. You do not tell somebody that they're doing something wrong
in front of everyone.
In that manner. And on stage when we're performing, the poor guy got his morale just went down.
And you probably just feel it with the team.
Right. So these are things that you have to watch what you say, and especially in a professional manner. This wasn't a big deal because luckily it was just it didn't really mess up the whole thing. But if you're running a business and you talk to your employer a certain way, you could probably lose that employee.
Sure.
Yeah. And probably the work won't be done like you want it to.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when we own a business or we're leaders in a business, to realize, don't take anything personally. We might need to hold on to that, but we need to realize others may not be living by that. So then it takes you back to the first agreement to be impeccable with your word. How are you talking to them?
Definitely. Also, punctuality. Basically, I'm the type that I lead by example.
Yeah.
You can always tell, if I tell someone I'm going to be there at 8, I'm there at 7:45. That's the way.
This is very true. I can attest to this.
So I'm very
Whether it's
comfortable with my
Halloween
work.
parties or Mardi Gras parties or Books and Booze episodes,
Absolutely.
and I appreciate that. You know, as a hostess, we try to do things to be ready for our guests, and
Absolutely.
you walk in and you're ready. And I love it.
And I project that, and I lead by example, and I expect my musicians and the people that work with me, my team, to do the same.
Sure.
So yeah.
I love this because I think this book, maybe he originally wrote it for personal,
I think so.
but obviously being Saige consultants, Leilani and I try to take some of these different books and how can we become better even within our business.
Absolutely.
So,
you become a better person, you can become better with everything.
Yeah.
Because I think that's tantamount to being a better person, to follow these agreements.
I agree. I really do. I love, and that's leading to the next one was the one that was like,
got you in the heart. The third one?
Yeah.
What is our third agreement? Do you remember, my friend?
Who, me? Of
Yes.
course I remember, girl. It's called Don't Make Assumptions. Very important.
How did
I was telling my son that the other day. Somebody comes in and looks at you and you go, what? What are you looking at? And you assume what they're thinking, what they're going to say, and all kinds of things break loose. It's ridiculous. Never make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Always ask. Make sure you know before you speak. It's very important.
and I think it hit me because I think right now, especially in the world of texting, right, the internet,
No voice. You don't hear what
you're not
really mean.
hearing the tone.
you're only reading?
You're only reading it, and you're having
And you have
to
no
assume,
Misunderstandings.
what
Totally
the tone is. And I feel like, especially, for our children, the generation that they're growing up in right now, everything is by text, right? You don't call, you text before you make the phone call. Literally, you text before you pick up the phone and dial. And so what ends up happening is the tone and the sincerity or lack of sincerity is not transferred over to, it's not translated correctly. And so in that, you make assumptions.
Oh, definitely.
And what ends up happening is you make an assumption of like, oh, that person is unhappy with me right now, or
You read into it.
way too
Usually
much.
based on how you're feeling about yourself with something.
And that goes back to, what was it, the second one?
Don't make assumptions.
Don't
Don't
take
take anything personal.
Don't take anything personal.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that's the mirror
They
effect.
all go intertwine with each other.
They sure do.
And that's the part where I really was like, oh man, yeah, because that part of, you just don't make assumptions. And actually in the book, right, so I might need you to go a little bit further about it before I bring it up.
Well, while you're looking up, the thing around don't make assumptions, this was a learning curve for me. You talked about everything being texting and digital. Emojis and the choice of punctuation delivers an emotional intention. And apparently you can be passive aggressive with smiley emojis. What? Yeah,
That's a generational thing at this point.
clearly, but as an entrepreneur employing individuals, this is something to be aware of.
Yeah.
Because they will, and again, this is where these are great rules to live by, but not everybody is there yet.
It is.
So if you want to be inspirational and successful, how do you prepare yourself that not everybody is necessarily on this? And how do you set them up for success and inspire them? Because they will take things personally. They will make assumptions.
But that's why I really like your module you have about the generational way of handling your. So Kristen has a really great module that's all around the generational differences. And I sound so millennial saying it, but it really is like there's just a different way that each generation, like for example, in our generation, it was caps lock. Okay, like you were screaming at someone if everything was in caps lock.
Yeah, stop yelling at me.
Stop yelling at me. So I wasn't really thinking like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to the emojis. But now I can see where the emojis can be taken as like if you're being, I don't know,
Passive aggressive,
passive
or
aggressive.
insulting.
Yeah,
Even though you're smiling at them.
Be sarcastic, taking sarcasm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, sarcasm. Like, I'm being sarcastic, so I'm putting double horns. I'm not actually mad at you and think you're the devil, but just putting devil horns, and so that's the part where I can see, like, you can't really get the context of a message because the tone is lost. And so how do you navigate that? That is so true. In this book, he goes and he says, also find your voice to ask for what you want. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has the right to tell you no or yes, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no. But to me, I pick it up as pick up the fucking phone. I'm sorry.
To her, that means pick up the phone and ask. Don't assume.
Don't assume. Just pick up the phone. Do not assume that whether or not my text or whatever the tone is,
How it meant. Yes.
And then on the other side of it is, do not be preoccupied with how that person is receiving the message either.
Yeah,
of course.
Because that's a part of in this cancel culture right now. You're so preoccupied with how the message is being received. Just deliver the freaking message. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it's being delivered. Just deliver it. So yes, that's how I took your funny.
No, I love that. And I think there's going to be a new wave coming where we're talking acceptance, but we're not really there.
Sorry, I'm taking the tree out. I'm taking the tree out. I'm taking the tree out.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Christmas tree.
It's cute, but
Christmas tree. Okay. We're a world of talking acceptance, but we really aren't in a way. So I think the next wave is truly going to be where people should be able to speak up, and it's going to be uncomfortable for a while, but I think it's going to come to where we're going to get back to, you can have your point of view, you can have your point of view, I can have mine, and if we disagree, let's learn from each other and agree to disagree, or learn from each other, versus that's what you believe?
oh,
Yeah.
Cancel.
No, that's the thing. You're trying to promote. Let's promote acceptance.
Yeah.
But yet, the moment you speak what you feel, right? It's like being X'd off with what was the show that they go and they X you off and you're out. I forget.
There's a couple.
There's a few of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
X
that one. Pick one.
There's a few of them.
So, no, I agree. You can't make assumptions, but others do. So how do you live your life in a way?
Don't take it personally. If somebody's taking something that you say and assuming and then doing and taking it personally, you have to know that you cannot do that. Because that's basically, you're the one that has that knowledge.
And it perpetuates.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what? I just thought about picking up the phone. You don't even have to pick up the phone. There's WhatsApp. There's voice messages. Like, phone talk is not your thing.
I know, I love
You're a divergent.
Like, talk to me. Like, did I get to listen? I'm like, oh, hello. Okay.
Yeah. Pick your method, but at least convey your message clearly the way
Communication is key.
Communication.
Absolutely.
Communication is key. It really is.
And then the source to claim it.
Always do your best.
I love that.
Always do your best. And this is funny because I actually speak to I've always told myself all of these things. Everything that we just spoke about, that's how I raised him. Tell her,
and this
always
is
do your best.
sincere. The woman has it on her phone.
I do.
Like, she references it.
Literally, it's helping me right now.
Not because we're doing a podcast. This was before we even agreed to do this book. She's like,
it's true.
It's amazing.
Be impeccable with your word. You don't take things personally. You don't assume. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. See how I know them by heart?
You do.
I didn't look at that thing.
You live by them.
And I think this is where he's really hitting in on sort of the concept that I think today's world is calling manifestation, right? Like, you put really good out there and you think really good and you do really good and you express gratitude and everything. And then that's cyclically what will come back to you. That's one part of it.
Definitely.
Right. What else? How does this resonate for you?
It's also
in your business?
It motivates the team that you work with. It fosters a better work environment, obviously, because if you have good interpersonal communications, you have a good work ethic, and everything will fall into place with other people. Because obviously, you're not working by yourself. You're working with other people, and if you're a person that knows how to to communicate. You know how to listen. You know how to express yourself. You know how to not take it personal, and you're gonna be much happier, and also have much happier employees and teams that you work with.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to read a little bit from the book that is implying exactly what you're talking about. It says, the problem with most people is that they lose control of their emotions. It is the emotions that control the behavior of the human, not the human that controls the emotions. You see, and so when you go and you say, hey, like we were just talking about, do your best, like just come in and just say, I'm in control. I can do my best. The outside influences around me are not controlling how I'm going to perform. I control how I'm going to perform. And as long as I'm doing my best, it doesn't matter what the outside world is going to do. It cannot dictate my emotion.
Exactly. And also, we're all humans. No one is perfect. So doing your best, it doesn't mean that you're not going to take things personal ever. It doesn't mean that you're never going to sue anything ever in your life because you believe in these 4 agreements. It basically that you're doing your best to do so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I think the he had it down, and you see the size of the book, and
very easy to read too.
And the type font is like, I don't know, 18, 16. So it's not actually
back up there.
Oh,
so it's on camera.
Yes,
I've been drinking. It's gonna fall.
On this side, there we go. Should you want me to put it on this side?
On this side.
Okay.
That's the visual.
Ta-da! There we go.
So I really enjoy how he reached down. We talk about generational wisdom, right? And the stories we tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
And one can argue that these 4 agreements are 4 beliefs, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? Because this is what he believes, and these are the stories he could be telling himself. And there could be truth in the fact that it seems to be repetitive in an underlying message amongst all the books that we read, right? So one could argue and philosophize that this is just another story he's telling himself. However, I go and I say, if the story is helping you, if it's advancing you, if it's making you feel like a better person, then
Opening your mindset.
Yeah.
Opening your awareness.
Tell yourself that story then.
It's a good story to tell yourself.
It's a good story.
Yes. So he talks about how do you break old agreements, old laws that you have that you're stuck in, right? Maybe you've read this and you're like, okay, something does need to change, right? Maybe you're stuck in what is titled today a victim mindset, or you just feel stuck in general. And I really love this. He talks about 3 masteries to living your true self. And those 3 are mastery of awareness, right? Everything that you truly are and can be. I'm like, wow, okay.
Love it.
And when you follow these 4 agreements, everything you can be is so much bigger, isn't it? Because
and
it's
much more happier.
Happier. And I don't want to say stress-free, but in a way stress-free.
Of course. If you don't take things personally, you're not going to be stressed about it. Absolutely.
Sure. And there will be stressful moments, right? When you have your own business, life in general can be stressful.
Yes.
But you can, I guess, bounce back, get back into the groove of things.
It goes back into the 4th agreement. It says, always do your best, which basically means, like I said before, it doesn't mean that you don't get stressed. It doesn't mean that life is perfect. It means that you do your best
in every situation.
Hold space and forgive yourself that when you're not optimal and you don't make the right decision, you forgive yourself for that.
Well, and I think he gives the perspective, what if you're, I don't know what it is, but this stuck in my head. Something, you worked a really long shift, you're exhausted, and your best that particular day
is not the same
as your best after you're rested.
Absolutely.
Or you've had the right nutrition, things like that. Yeah. But in the moment when you're giving your best, that's what you celebrate. And I think that's huge, because I think a lot of us put ourselves on this par of what our best is, and that is always our best, but our best is relative.
And you can be too hard on yourself.
Tickle, tickle.
That was the rosemary.
Yeah.
Take the tree out.
But I love the tree. Oh,
it looks so cute. So yeah, you can be actually very hard on yourself when you do that. And
that can add stress. And then his other 2 masteries are master of transformation. He said earlier in the book, we're domesticated. Basically, he says undomesticate ourselves to these old laws or old rules. And then the last is mastery of intent. what is our intention? So,
Be intentional.
yes.
Can I add one in there? I know.
Please.
I like it. Go
First
ahead.
one,
I actually have some.
the first one,
I should have used it. Thank
the
you.
first one was acknowledgement, right? What was it? The very first one you
The
said?
masteries.
Mastery
Uh-huh.
of your
Awareness.
Awareness.
Uh-huh.
Awareness.
Mhm.
Well, I guess this one is. And so it's almost like the 7 steps, right? Denial, right?
Yes. Okay, this is very true.
Come out of denial, right? And I guess that's where the awareness
River in
comes in,
Egypt.
right? Is that when you're denying that you're actually going through these things, it can actually be arrogance. So acknowledge denial. So maybe that's what the awareness part comes in.
Absolutely. We do tend to do that, right? Like we build up these walls.
Oh, of course.
and
That's our
masks and facades.
self-defense
It
mechanism.
is. We tend
Those
to
are our
hide.
self-mechanisms. We go and we put up a wall. You ever run into someone
That's
who's like,
every time somebody told you something, you put up a block. And somebody
Yeah.
told something else that bothered you and hurt you, you put up
put up
another
the
block.
block, right?
Yeah.
And you go in, or you act like you know it all, or you act like, oh yeah, I know. You don't need to explain that. It's already been there, done that. Type of
Right.
thing, right? Those are the blocks that you put up,
Yeah.
or you're not willing to learn anything new, or be aware that you could.
And that's assuming, and then you're not supposed to make the assumptions. Like
Yeah.
when somebody tells you, gonna tell you something,
Don't
and,
make
and you
assumptions.
say, yeah, I know. You don't know.
You know.
You don't know what
It's
that person's
okay.
gonna tell you.
Yeah,
When I think back to the book, Daring Greatly,
yeah,
being vulnerable,
Yeah.
right? Because I think that's really where transformation and growth, even Brene Brown had said that, what hinders creativity is not being vulnerable, and just being willing to say, show me, review that with me again. I'm not sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
And
appreciation.
appreciation. Absolutely.
Love it.
So really amazing book. Like, I think if anybody wants to be successful in life, it starts with the mindset and
If you're happy with yourself and with how, and you have a team of people that are happy as well, you're gonna be more productive. Definitely.
yep.
Oh
It'll be much better work environment. You're gonna be productive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I believe in living by these rules, by these agreements and beliefs.
Well, and you've done a very great job of living by them, and look at the success you've had. Like, oh, yeah, I say it with all honesty. I mentioned it in the beginning of this podcast, but by default, Mio has had great success, and it's because she's decided to live by these. And I've known her now for 10 years, and I've seen it. I've known her did I actually say intimately? Because that's not. Wait.
Personally, no, we haven't gone there like that. No. We haven't been that drunk.
I can see.
We haven't been that drunk.
Yeah. I know this girl.
Funny.
And I've seen her first.
She knows me personally and professionally.
Yeah.
She's actually seen me with my band.
Yeah.
And she's seen me with my child. So yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
She lives by these. And
personally
she's had-
and professionally.
You've had great success with this. Yeah, with your career. You knew your lane. You stayed the course. You've been impeccable with your word. You do not take anything personally. You don't make assumptions, and you do your best.
I do.
You
very
really
much.
do.
Yeah.
And so you've had great success with that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I do my best. Absolutely.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining us for this episode, right? Like,
Yes.
these books, some are business focused, some are finance focused, some are mindset and emotion focused, because these are all components to being successful in your journey.
Yeah.
And hopefully hearing from somebody who is so successful, and you can see it, she's out there, she's a public figure. It's exciting.
Remember, you guys would make me blush.
It's not just something we're reading, but somebody who has put this into practice for her whole life. It is coming through in her success. So heed words of wisdom and guidance. And thank you for joining us on this another episode. It means a lot to us that you're here. Do the little subscribe,
subscribe,
follow.
share.
But share.
But
And-
before that, I'd like to let Mio go ahead, and if you'd like to see where she's currently performing, her lineup of events, where you
Okay.
can find her on
Down
Instagram,
below.
Facebook, all of that, I'm gonna go ahead and let you give a little plug.
Yeah.
Or Absolutely. You can find me on the social media as Miosotis Music. I suppose it's written there. You should read it, right? Miosotis Music. And you can also find me on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, all of that nice stuff. Miosotis on Spotify. Miosotis Music is basically the handle, so you can always find that way. You can see my YouTube channel where the nice videos are at.
Yes.
Amazing videos.
That I'm so happy because, like you were saying at the beginning, it just came out like 10 days before. In 10 days, it was like 500,000. I'm like, thank you so much for your support, everybody. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me cry.
And so with that, guys, if you've reached the end of this, I don't even know how long we've been recording, but if you've reached the end of this, that means we've grabbed your attention.
Cheers to you.
Somehow. Cheers to you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. You've made it to this point. Please, 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 let's get back to what YouTube was supposed to be for. YouTube was to go out, talk about things that interest us, publicize things a little bit, but mainly it was to get feedback about the content we're putting out there. So please, put a little comment below. Tell us, what did you like about what we were talking about? And I'm okay, guys. Listen, if the only reason why you tuned in was for this girl, please, by all means, just put, I'm here for Miosotis only. I'm okay with that. Put a comment below. Put a comment below and let us know, because
Need her on every episode, right?
yeah, because then we'll know that we're going to plug her in every single time. Replace me. We'll just plug her in every single time. But seriously, guys, it helps us, because the entire reason why you go into business, the entire reason why people put stuff out on YouTube is because we want to be helpful, we want to entertain, and we want to know what everyone is thinking.
Share.
And we can't know
Tell us.
unless you let us know.
Yes.
So tell us, guys.
Okay.
So with that said, grab a book. I was going to say grab a good drink, but yeah, grab a good book. Grab a good book. Get some great booze.
And a good money to share it with.
All right. Thank y'all.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so dangerous to be like 3 drinks in before you start recording.
I'm really hoping.
Did we bleep that other part?
We'll see.
That's funny.
We do say that not suitable for viewers under 21 because
So let it
yeah,
roll.
let it roll.
I swear, I don't know. Everyone who knows me knows I fucking swear.